Hi, I'm Jesse Ragg from Intercultural Elements, and in this short video I'd like to chat to you briefly about the Southern Hemisphere and why it should be a target market for your next international expansion. Australia's online sales are expected to exceed $32 billion in 2017, which is pretty impressive for a country with only 27 million people. And of the 2 million online shoppers in New Zealand, they spend about 1.3 billion New Zealand dollars from international marketplaces every year. So let's look at reasons why you should be selling to the Southern Hemisphere. Logistics is something that Australians are used to. It's a massive country. They know that, we know that. So if you have to add an extra week to your shipping time so that Australians know when their item's going to arrive, they're not going to mind. They're used to that. For a number of reasons, there's a pretty limited product source in Australia. A lot of Aussies and Kiwis are often forced to go to international sellers in order to get the products that they want when they want them. So for you as an online seller, that offers a huge opportunity, because if the local sellers can't compete, the buyers are going to be coming to you anyway. You don't have to buy extra stock to sell to Aussies and Kiwis. To be honest, some of the best stock that you could sell to them is the stuff that is sitting in your warehouse gathering dust. In parts of Australia, such as Canberra and Tasmania, as well as pretty much the entirety of New Zealand, it does get cold. Which means that your Aussie and Kiwi buyers are just as keen to buy some of that winter equipment that you've got left over, whether it's warm clothes, skiing equipment, or just a nice pair of gloves. There is a market for it there, for the stuff that you didn't get to sell in the European winter. And finally, one of the most obvious reasons to consider, especially Australia and New Zealand, as potential expansion opportunities for your international business, is language. But with the exception of a few small nuances between Australian and British and American English, you can use your existing product data to create new listings in both Australia and New Zealand. Obviously, localization is important. Make sure you've got the right search terms and make sure that you pick up the difference between flip-flops and thongs. But go down the road of getting your items up and running on there. You can almost immediately start listing items in those countries with your existing data without having to pay for the translations that you would for example, France, Germany, or Japan. We talked a lot about Australia and New Zealand, but they're massive countries, they're a long way away, and there's a lot more to talk about. Our website details are below, and of course you can always call us if you'd like to have a chat. But if you're calling from Australia, do remember the time difference.